Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Moore Merrill, and I'm so honored to be with you today to be able to talk about data. I am with the International Public Safety Data Institute, or it's known as the IPSDI, and I want to tell you a little bit about our organization and our data initiatives for the fire service. So the IPSDI is just about 2 years old. We are a 501c3 nonprofit by US standards. And so we have several collaborative partners, and you can see the logos on the screen, and many of these you'll recognize in the fire service, the IFC, the IFF, the Metro Chiefs. Many of you will also recognize the Underwriters Laboratory, or UL, as well as some of the accrediting organizations. So this collaboration actually stood up the International Public Safety Data Institute to try to leverage technology. And so our mission is really to enhance public safety through data science and bringing technology to the fire service. And we want to do that as we continue to bring you tools, training, data science, analytics for all of your data locally. So our vision is really to do that. Life-saving insights from technology, from data, so that you can take action on these insights. And that's what our tools begin to do. And so today I'm going to share with you about our core values and how we base our data tools as we're doing the development. And the core data or core values that drive our work are these. And you'll recognize a lot of these words, particularly for the fire service. It is our core value to protect lives and property, the environment, and how do we do that? So each of these words carries some power with it. So from preparedness to prevention, public education, and of course, emergency response when our prevention doesn't work, right? So we still have to be expected to respond to these emergencies. And when we do respond, we want to make sure that we have that emphasis on quality, that we are efficient and effective and safe for our responders and in the community. And so using these core values of a fire department, that's how we develop our tools as well. So I want to share with you a little bit about our main data initiative, which is the National Fire Operations Reporting System. And this reporting system is available throughout North America. So not just US, but in Canada as well. And NFORS really looks at, it is a tool, again, technology, and we're able to leverage that to bring a tool to you that looks at adequate fire resources, optimizing your operations, and reducing firefighter injury and death, civilian injury and death, and certainly property loss. So we are primarily funded by grants in the US, but we have expanded to do some government contracts and also working with local fire departments as well. And we would love to be able to leverage this data tool in your fire department. One of the things that NFORS does is look at the department's availability to respond, your capability to deliver services once you respond, and then evaluate your on-scene or your operational performance. All three of those things are incredibly important for you to deliver value and talk about the value of the fire department to the community and to decision makers. So what we do with the NFORS analytics is we connect directly with your computer-aided dispatch or your mobilization data. There's no additional firefighter data entry here. So we're going to leverage data you already have in the fire service to bring you insights from that data. In other words, we're giving you a tool to really analyze and leverage the data you already have. And so we're going to link with real-time analytics. We're going to provide it to you in an active dashboard that will include geocoding for your maps. So all of these tools will help you bring information, knowledge, get that knowledge from the data that you already have. So we use a data capture system. We're going to, as I said, connect directly with your CAD or records management system or both. So there's no additional firefighter data entry to use the tool. Using NFORS, you can use many things. There are many uses. Standards of cover calculation, looking at benchmarks, your operational impact, and for those going through accreditation to help you with those data tables. Many of the data tables that can take you, 12, 18 months, you can do in less than an hour using NFORS. And so we've provided these types of tools, again, to be able to make your data useful. So here's some of the screenshots that you would have. This is a geocoded map. So we're going to geocode every piece of data as it comes into our system, give it back to you on an interactive map So looking at your heat map, knowing where your call volume is, the heavier call volume, you're going to also have an incident report that is automatically generated. And so at the completion of every call, we're going to use AI to give you these reports. And so this report will also contain what we call a benchmark or performance measurement report card. I like to refer to it as the little report card. So in every single call, you can establish benchmarks and you'll know your performance, whether it was an EMS response, a fire response, a hazmat response, whatever the case. We will look at those performance indicators and provide that information to you live on every call. So here's some of the unit trend analysis that can be done in our system as well. You know, I often talk with fire chiefs and they say, you know, I need to use my data to understand if I need to deploy additional resources, move a station, move a special, rescue unit. So what information can we get out of your data to advise those kinds of decisions? Well, unit trend analysis certainly helps with that. So for every single apparatus that you deploy, you can understand at different time elements their unit trends, right? Is their commitment time high? Is their call volume high? And we compare that to themselves over time. So you're going to know if engine 5 is running busy in 2020, right? So what are the impacts of the system on unit trend analysis? You're also, as part of the system, going to receive daily email summaries, and you get to design these. So every day when the shift changes, the chief is going to get an email with some sort of comparison that you want to see. What's the data that you as a chief want every morning at shift change? What would you like to know about the last shift? Their call volume, their turnout time, all of those things will come to you automatically. The other thing that we have at Inforce is an exposure tracker. And this really is the heart of what we do for firefighter safety. You know, a lot of Canada, you have presumptive laws in place, but often those presumptive laws will also require some exposure tracking or a connection of the disease or the injury back to an exposure on the job. And so looking at the firefighter exposure tracker, this is one way that firefighters can have their own career diary, and it stays with them for life, even into retirement. So this app is live. It can be downloaded from app stores. Every fire department in the US and Canada is already listed in the app. So you just go in, identify yourselves with the app, and begin loading your information as an individual firefighter. This is an individual database that, again, remains with the firefighter. But if the department is connected to the Inforce analytics that I just showed you, you would be able to see de-identified aggregate reports, right? So you can tell if you have trends for injury or for behavioral health issues or for typical exposures or for COVID-19 exposures. So all of these insights can come from your data. So it's important that we make sure this app is available to you, to your firefighters in the street. It is free for download. Again, if you're connected, then the firefighters will be able to connect to your data as well, so they can get an automatic download of incident data, their incident data, into their phone. It's all encrypted, it's all secure, and we work with you in that security regard to make sure all of your data is kept completely safe. So with that, it's important that firefighters track exposure. So even if we are not working with you on the Inforce analytics, every firefighter should be downloading and using the exposure tracker to keep track of all of their exposures on the job. We know that behavioral health is a problem as well, so it's important that this app has also a behavioral health or a traumatic event module. So it carries not only for fire, EMS, hazmat modules, but also a behavioral health module. So you can record these horrible things that you can't get out of your head, these things that people do to each other, to which firefighters respond and handle. It's important that you keep track of that, because if you were to have a situation with PTS down the road, you're going to want to be able to connect it to an exposure you've had in the field connected to the job. And so we know that. That's why this exposure tracker will maintain that for you as